Good evening, everybody. My name's Gary. We're going to be playing some ukulele jazz tonight, and it's with the, for lack of a better word, the Ukulele Orchestra of the Milky Way. My nose is running. I'm going to go post the link on our website. Website is jollyrogerukulele.com, and I'll post that right here. Paste. Shift, highlight, link, enter, edit, settings, open a new window, update, and update. All right, so that'll get everybody rolling in here. Today we are up to 13 songs. We won't get to everything, and so we will probably, what we've been doing is playing as many as we can get to each night. And we'll see let's see how things go. Let me tweet this tonight. Jazz Hurts 13 jazz tunes for ukulele. https://jollyrogerukulele.com. Meet here every Monday night, and we are planning on continuing that forever. So let's see. There's that. Hopefully you have already joined us and already know what this is all about. Let's see. Posted 3 new tunes today. Harlem Nocturne, Misty, and My Funny Valentine. Didn't get the baritone one. Baritone sheets finished on a couple of them, but I did get the other. So I have 4 of the 6 sheets that I needed to get up there. Just time is a challenging dimension, don't you think? All right, so there's that. I'm going to bring up this page, and I'll bring up this page. I can close that page now. All right, let's see here. One last double check, make sure the link is working properly. It must be, because people are rolling into the into our jolly band here, I think. Yep. All right. So we're all set there. All set there. Have our playlist there. Guys, be thinking about which songs you want to play tonight. We'll only talk about the new songs. We won't necessarily play them. Shoot, let's see, where did I end up here? Songs. So our 3 new songs for tonight. Well, not really for tonight. We'll just chat about them. Harlem Nocturne. It's in down here in the H's. I think that's where I left off. Where are you? H-I-J. Harlem Nocturne, ukulele. I'm going to be doing the baritone. the ukulele one would put up such a fuss. I was like, I can't deal with the baritone one. And then Misty, I think is lovely. I think it was really fun to put that one together. And then Misty ukulele, Misty baritone. And then My Funny Valentine. That's another one. It's just lovely. Just My Funny Valentine. I don't know if I like the sentiment behind it, but I do. I like the song itself. All right. There's that. Download. 4 items. Yes. 2, 3, 4. And all done. All right. So we got everything in it. I'm ready to play some music. Let's see, guys. Let me know which piece you want to start with tonight, or if I had it's been 2 weeks since we got together, so I want to just put off. I just want us to start on whatever way that I said we were going to start on, and we'll see what we're doing tonight. Let's see who's made it in so far tonight. Sandy's in from Upper Michigan. Sandy spends a lot of quality time with me. We're getting to be good buddies. If I ever go to Michigan, I'm going to go to her house and knock on the front door. Red is in. We're on to the second row. Here's a bomb for you, Red. It's not a very good bomb. All right, you are fabulous at jazz chords. You could do this for. I could do this for a living. I am doing this for a living. Yeah, the chords are. You know, you get the jazz chords, and you have it takes easily 3 or 4 times the amount of time to put a jazz piece together that it takes to put a what do you call it? Regular piece of music together. I'm just realizing my ukulele's in the other room. We'll just play everything on baritone tonight. No, hold on. I'll be right back. Ugh, all right, sorry about that. It's going to be helpful to have a ukulele, probably. Kat's in. Hey, Kat. You're the first one. Well, you were technically you're the third person here. So I don't know how that works out in the real world. I don't know. Glad you're here anyway, Kat. Vic is in. Vic has spent all day with me today. She's ready to drink a glass of wine after spending so much time with me. Elizabeth, sound is good. From Northern Colorado. Diane in from the Denver area. Quite a number of tunes. We're getting a really solid group here. Evelyn, happy Monday night to you. And she's down in Ecuador. Good to see you, Evelyn. Carol up in Western Colorado. Good night. Yeah, just some jazz. We'll do what we can, right? We'll play what we can. And we'll move from there. Rita's in from Illinois. Hey, Rita. Janice. Yay. Janice is in from beautiful Down Under, Sydney, Australia. Let's see, Janice, I got an email from you. I have not had a chance to get back with you. I apologize. And just haven't. I had 3 straight days of just writing music, and I didn't look at email at all from anything. So now I'm in trouble with everybody. Critters in from Utah. Let's have some uke fun. Shot number 2 tomorrow. Right on, Critter. Good to hear you. Good to hear that. Lindy. Good to see you, Lindy. I've been missing you. Long time no be here. Good to be back. Glad you're back, Lindy. Marianne in, checking in from Michigan. Jacqueline's in from Denver. Mame's in from Denver. Sherry's in from Denver. Pauline in from Northern California. Pauline and I are spending a lot of quality time together these days as well. Let's see. Laurel and Barbara are in from the Denver area. Good evening. All of me. She's voting for all of me first. Let's just pull all of me up. Let's do that one first. Barbara's put her vote in, and that's the first one, so let's do it. Tanya, good to see you. Baritone player from North Carolina. Good to have you in. Linda in from beautiful Vancouver, Canada. Got the sun on the back. Yeah, I know, right? This time of night the light gets all weird, and so we're still having the light out. By the time we're done, though, it'll be set completely. Patricia in from Denver had difficulty logging in. Well, glad you made it. You did fine. I thought I was first. I'm usually late. Something was no longer first. All right, I know, right? You were as close to first as I would expect you to be, Kat. All right, let's see. Kate, welcome in from Colorado as well, and Fran in from Southern California. Good to see all of you guys. Thanks for being here. We're going to do all of me, and we're going to play the ukulele part first. Ukulele's out of tune, and so everything I wrote today is probably off by a quarter step. All right, let's see. Glad you're here. Let's grab all of me, and let's see how we do. We'll talk about the new songs in a little while. Let everybody get settled in, and we'll play a little bit, and then we'll talk about the new tunes, where I'm at, what's going on with those. So, all of me. Me. Da 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 E-F-G-H-I all of me. Ukulele. All right. So we play all the way down to measure 34, come back to the top, and then we're going to skip 31, 32, and 33 the second time through. Okay? This is a perfect warm-up song for us. Not too tough. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. missed a whole measure. I apologize. I missed a whole measure. Let's start from the top again. I apologize. From the top, beat measure 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the top. Measure 9. Second ending. Isn't that nice? That's nice. It just works on ukulele. And you know, some songs you can fit. I can fit any song on a ukulele, but sometimes it's really like you're like, well, all right, we did it. We got it on there. But this one feels absolutely like it belongs there, and I don't have any, moments where I'm like, oh, I know I had to sneak something in there. It just works. For some reason, my pedal isn't hooking up here. Hold on a second. It's driving me bananas. Why isn't it pairing? Come on. There it goes. All right. Let's grab the baritone version of that. See how that goes. Yeah, on that one, honestly, the only chord that came up, measure 25, or I'm sorry, 26, that 5545. When something like that comes up, you're like, oh gosh, what's going on here? You read as fast as you can, like, oh boy. One of the things that I set a bad example of is because I keep throwing music at you, you have a hard time necessarily focusing in on any one in particular. But take some time to find one or two songs that you just want to own, and then do what you have to know where the bad chords are and what you're supposed to do. So that way, when you pull up to that, you're like, yeah, that's that, and you don't have to worry about it. Or measure 30, though, that daggone G7, which is unpleasant under the best of circumstances. But then you also have to add on your pinky there. When you see those rolling up, you're like, yeah, I worked on those before. I know what I'm supposed to do there. Make sure you're always leaving yourself lots of chicken scratching on your sheet music as well, so that 2 years from now, when you end up coming back and you're like, I always liked that song, I'm going to master that song, you have all of your notes still sitting on your paper, and you can go through and fix it. So, or you can replay it more quickly that way, I think. Let's see. Sandy's vote for Fly Me to the Moon next, which we will do. Laurel loves that song. All right, let's do All of Me baritone, and then we will move on to Fly Me to the Moon. Okay? All of Me from the top. And remember, ukulele players, you're playing the chords here, looking for chords you don't know so that you go look them up. And also trying to find some way to accompany me where it sounds like what we're working together. So a lot of times when I'm the duet partner, when I'm the chord person, I'm checking what strumming would sound like, I'm checking what plucking would sound like, I'm checking what arpeggios might sound like in there, trying to find my best way of presenting the song that accents my duet partners, whatever they're doing, right? And so it's since I can't hear you, it's really on you to make it sound good. I'm just trying to survive here, and you are, or you may just say, you know what, I don't care about that. I'm just going to play my baritone, and I'm going to play exactly what Gary's playing, or the melody, or the chords, one of the two. But in any event, if you've got a ukulele and you're only playing ukulele, then it's your job to figure out what's going to make this sound cool as the second voicing. From the top, 2 times through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second ending. So I blew, let's see, every single time I came through at 28, I blew it. Oh, and just get rid of that chord there, and that'll solve the problem. All right, so there. All right, that's nice, huh? All right, so All of Me sounds beautiful. How about that? All right, good. A little hungry last week of heading. All right, so Linda's feeling better. She broke her wrist, you guys. Don't do that. That's not good for you. Terry made it in. How you doing, buddy? All right, so yeah, don't tell people that you're a surgeon now, and these are your hands that you do operations with, and you cannot be using them for your real life. So there's no, I reject the notion that you have to do dishes, open boxes, walk, right? You sit in your chair and you play ukulele. That's your function now. Take care of your arms. We've had a broken arm, a broken leg. I don't know how many people have fallen and dislocated fingers and all this stuff. And it's not good for us, people. Let's go grab Fly Me to the Moon. Right? Is that the one we wanted? Yeah, Sandy asked for Fly Me to the Moon. Let's go play it. Let's start with the ukulele version and see how far it gets us. And those of you guys who are getting in a little bit late tonight, we'll talk about the new songs here. I'm actually super stoked about one or two of them, and then I do want to give you a little bit of a heads up on one or two of them too, right? So we will. I don't want you to be sad that you come here. And this stuff, guys, please make sure you remember, this stuff has the potential to make you sad, right? This stuff, it absolutely does. This is the advanced stuff. I mean, when Red came in, she says, "Man, you're doing a great job on getting these jazz chords together." The jazz chords are so much more difficult to think through. They're so much more difficult to put onto the instrument. They're so much more difficult to just understand from a music theory perspective. It takes me much, much, much longer to create a jazz arrangement than it does anything else, because you're constantly, you're using you use the chords as advice, basically, and you change them, and you want to make them more complex and more interesting. So you start adding in other notes. You change the entire chord out for something else. And so what you end up with is usually a pretty nice piece of music, but it doesn't come without a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And when it comes to playing it, of course, all that stuff we do during the day where we're like, oh, 7555, oh, that's that one. I've done that a million times. So, 0575, I know that one. And then you get to this stuff and you're just like, I have no idea what he's up to. So make sure that you know it's okay to struggle with this stuff. And then also make sure those of you who are a little bit newer, you know how to do that. That is not outside of your wheelhouse. And what you will do then is you will teach somebody around in your life to play those chords, and again, that's a tall order in and of itself. But then you'll play the melody, and you do duets with this stuff. You don't have to play tough uke on everything. Obviously, you want to, but you don't have to. So, all right, Pauline is in. All right, so Fly Me to the Moon. 4-beat count-in. Now this is a tough one because your first repeat is long, so make sure you have a note or a little star or a yellow stripe or something at the beginning of measure 27, because the second time we come through, if you're not paying attention, you'll mess it, and you have to jump from the end of 26 to 33, and I have notes all over my sheet music to remind me. So let's see how we do. Okay, from the top. Baritone players, your chords, and again, any chords you don't know, a lot of time, like if you see a C major 7 and you're not sure what that is, just play a C chord, it'll be close enough, and then make yourself a note. Hey, go look this up. If you see D minor 7, this, right? But if you don't know what it is, just play a regular D minor. you don't get the jazzy feeling out of it, but it works. It'll cover up a lot of mistakes there. And then just make sure at the end of every time you're playing a sheet, if there's chords on there you don't know, that you take them, mark them, and then go look them up. That's kind of the exciting part about playing duets, is that sometimes there's a chord you're like, I just don't know if that's even right, and go look it up, spend a little bit of time with it on, and that process of just looking up chords over and over, after a while you'll be like, oh yeah, I've done this one before. Okay, from the top, 4-beat count in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second ending. Oops, I got it on backwards. Let's go from 33 again. I kind of blew that one moment when I looked at measure 34. I saw 757 and I thought G7. That's not what goes there at all. It's an A7, and you want to put your index finger on 5, middle finger on 6, and your ring and pinky up on 7. And those of you guys in the orchestra who were in the new members group that played this, you're like, Gary, how many times did we work on that exact moment? So from 33, let's finish strong. So go from 33, get your bar 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. One of the things that comes up a lot, this G7, where instead of doing your G7, you move this up to 3. You can hear how much jazzier that sounds. Okay. What you're doing is replacing the B note here with a C note. Okay, and so in the key in a G chord, there's G, B, and D are your G, B, and D are your 3 main notes, and so you're hitting a G, a D, an F because it's a G7, and this B, and so then you're just replacing that B with the C. So if you think about it from a music theory perspective, G, A, B, C, D. Okay, and so G, B, and D are the 1, 3, and 5 to make up the chord, G, B, and D. But what you're adding in is this one here. So it's really a G7 add 4, and there are chord people out there who are like, oh, you got to write that down. And you don't have to write that down. It's functioning as a G7, but at that particular moment, the way the melody is flowing and the way the jazz intonation is happening, you're just adding in this C to create a different texture to the overall song. And it can be really an effective strategy. You'll see that in a lot of jazz music where they'll add in a 2 or they'll add in a 4. And it just creates a different feeling of the chord overall without completely throwing it out and changing it all over. And so that's one of those things when I'm writing arrangements, that's a little bit of a sneaky thing I'll do, is just add in a 2, add in a 2 or add in a 4. And it usually sounds pretty cool on ukulele. In traditional jazz, and certainly into the contemporary jazz, they'll add in a lot of 9ths and 11ths and 13ths, 9ths and 13ths in particular. But if you think about a 9th, the numbers start over at 8, right? So a 9th is really a 2nd. The 11th is really your 4th, and your 13th is really a 6th. And so on a piano, it makes more sense to talk about 9th and 11th and 13th. But on our instrument, because we don't play it like that, we do all chords inversions. Really, 2 and 4 end up being your 9th and 11th that are sneaking in there, and will make it sound very sophisticated. Without changing without throwing the whole entire chord out. Let's play the baritone version. And you guys are thinking about what your next song is you'd like to play tonight. Somebody toss up a note while we're getting started this one. All right, from the top, I'm going to pluck this one. I'm going to pluck it just for fun. See what happens. See if it makes it cooler or less cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. the top. Second ending. Yeah. Very nice. All right, so there's Fly Me to the Sea, or Fly Me to the Moon, Fly Me somewhere. Get me on a plane. Get me out of here. I was reading that people are having a hard time getting back from Mexico on spring break, and there's a part of me that's like, oh, that's terrible. That and poor things. And there's another part of me that's like, what are you doing in Mexico, people? We got things going on. All right, so Christine is going to ruin my evening and your evening. She says, let's play Beyond the Sea. So let's go through it. Let's take our time. This is a beautiful song, but it is not easy to play. And so let's go through and talk about how we're going to do it without walking away being like, well, I guess I got to take a tin whistle because I can't play this song. By the way, tin whistle, if you ever decide, hey, I want to take up tin whistle, which I did. There was a point where I'm like, I'm going to play some tin whistle. You take it up because you bought the whistle, right? You were in a toy store somewhere and they're like, oh, there's tin whistles. I like music. I'll buy a tin whistle. It comes with a little book. Shows you how to make the chord, how to make the fingering, and then of course your next stop is YouTube, right? And so I type in tin whistle. I'm going, and there's this lovely little British girl. I think she's British. I don't know. She's just lovely. Hello everybody, and let's play tin whistle. And then she plays these songs, and you're just like, okay, I'll do it. I follow a recorder person who's the same way. She's really an advanced recorder player, like plays all this old-fashioned Renaissance music and stuff. But same thing. Hello everybody. And I always think, gosh, I wish I was young and enthusiastic. Let's take our time through it. Remember, when you are not hanging out here with me, you're trying to make a friend. And your friend is going to play Somewhere Beyond the Sea. Somewhere waiting for me. My love, it stands on golden sands. and watches the ships that go sailing. Right? That's what you're going to do for real. That's what you really do. That's why people like ukulele. And these chords are not that far outside of your run-of-the-mill chords. A chord, F sharp, D, E7, those all go all the way back to day 2. In fact, I'm doing it tomorrow. You need a refresher course, and you're like, well, I got nothing going on between 11 and 12 tomorrow. We do this. You remember this little book: A, F sharp minor, D, and E7. Well, these are the 4 chords that are primarily in this song, and they absolutely work. This one, of course, has C sharp minor, and it's jazz, so there's always going to be a few other chords that wander in to mess up your day. But for the most part, this is really going to be one that you can strum and sing and just have a good time with. Now, of course, then we go to the next level, which is somebody plays the chords and you play the melody. Right, and it works absolutely. Is beautiful. When you get these high notes, remember, give them a little vibrato. And so the whole thing works. It just works. Okay. Where it doesn't work is when you combine these two things. And again, in jazz, they're always adding in extra weirdo chord, or what they do is they add in weirdo notes inside of a normal chord, and it often will then send this whole chord structure off into the weeds, and your job is to follow them along. And so that's what you have in Tough Uke. In some places it's going to be tremendous, and in some places we're going to have to stop and think about it. We will stop and think about it when we get to the really nasty stuff. From the top, 1, 2, 3. Stop there and you're like, what in the world is he doing to me? I don't even think I want to come here anymore. This is not as bad as it looks. Bar on 4, F shape in front, pinky on 7. Same thing here. Bar on 9, F shape in front. And then just switch out your middle finger. Move it up 1 string. That gets the 7th feeling, and then back to the major feeling. And then you go all the way down to the E chord. Regular bar chord here. E7. A chord. Things get really messy, right? Because we're going to do 2 key changes here, and it's just going to hurt your heart. Don't let it. Just do the best you can and keep moving forward. 2, 3, 3, and a 4, and then a cool chord. Bar on 8, F shape in front. Okay, and then you got 4, 5, 6 here. 6s. 2, 3, 3. Bar on 8. F shape in front. 7, 9, 8. That's 7, 9, 8. Right? No. Yeah. 7, 9, 8. You're going to hear the key change in that, right? You're like, what is that? That's nothing. It's just a key change. Now it's your E chord. Oh, same thing. 7, 6, bar on 6 and the F shape in front. This is the hardest thing in the place. 11 and 12. It's just your G shape on 11, 11, 12, 11. And then go grab the 8, 9, 8s. Or 9, 8, 9, sorry. Bar on 9. Bar on 6. F shape in front. 4, 2. E chord. And then change out to the 5. Okay, and you can hear the one last key change. So if I'm tackling this piece, I have figured out part 1, the first half of the first page is the song, and then the second half of the first page is the song again, right? So I don't have to study that very hard. And the bottom half of the second page is the song a third time. So the main song happens 3 times, so you only need to learn it once, and then you've got 3/4 of the song done. Where you have to put your energy into is in 23, is it 23? 23 through 34, right? And I would be thinking about, all right, how many of these notes can I really get? If you can get them all, it sounds pretty sweet. You're like, yeah, those are the right chords. But you may have to, if you're Rudy Valley, I don't know who sang this, whatever guy sang it. If you're a singer, you don't have to slow down. You just expect your band members to be able to play this, and they're professionals, so they will be able to play it. But you as an amateur, it is 100% fine to slow way down there. It's far beyond the star, it's near beyond the moon. Clank. I know beyond a doubt my heart will lead me soon. Will me, and then it goes back, right? So we'll take those 2 lines there and just slow them way down. Do what you have to make them work. I do think the chord, I do think everything's right. I love it. I just think that, oh my gosh, that's hard to play. All right. Diane, we're going to talk about Harlem in a little bit. Bob, welcome in. The song is against the law. Bob's like, no. Bob's from New York. He makes sense, right? It is cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah, if they ever put you in jail, Bob, I'm going to tell them you want to play Beyond the Sea every day. If they ever catch up to you, Bob. Let's see. Elizabeth says measure 22. Couldn't the second chord be 1 2 0 2? Yeah, it absolutely could be. Then you would get a different. Elizabeth is asking, hey, can that second chord, instead of a 2 B7s in a row, could we do a B7 and an E7? And yeah, absolutely, it would sound cool. Because guess what? B C D E, right? Or E. F G A B, E and B, right? And so you're basically inverting. I'm making myself a note, Elizabeth, to see if that would make it any cool. It hits me as wrong to have the second chord the same as the first row in the first. Probably, yeah. And I think you might be overthinking it a tiny bit, Elizabeth. I was thinking, hey, geez, we survived the song. Let's just have a moment of peacefulness before we head off into the mania. But I like your idea. Yeah. Measure 28. Measure 28. Yep. Okay, I'm okay with you refingering that. Measure 32, last 2 notes, 9 and 7 on things. All right. So Elizabeth is busy refingering everything. You should do that, right? I tend not to do that. I want to play down here as much as possible, but there are plenty of times when you're playing way up here, and she's saying, you know what, now I got to jump all the way down and grab that 2 and then back up to the 4. That seems like wasted energy. Maybe I just grab the note higher up here before I go down. a lot of times that makes a lot of sense. I'm a big fan of playing down here, so anytime I can get down there, feels like home base to me. But yeah, great ideas, Elizabeth. And those of you guys who know what she's talking about, you might want to take a look at her suggestions. And Janice says, hey, this sounds really nice with a low G ukulele. Hey, let's really make it a low G ukulele. Let's grab a baritone version of this and see how it goes. Let's see. Warren says, oh, welcome in, Warren. We haven't seen you in a week or two. Warren's given up on me. He's decided he's got life to live down there in Australia. Let's try it on a baritone ukulele and see how it sounds. How are we doing on time? Oh gosh, all right. So this will, I think this will wrap it up for tonight. Let's play it on baritone. You guys will come in with your chords. Let's talk about very briefly before we go. So we'll finish with baritone Beyond the Sea, but I do want to talk about the 3 that I posted. And I like you guys to have them for a little while. Number 1, I will get you baritone versions of both Harlem Nocturne and my Funny Valentine. So I know there's a good number of you that are baritone players and want to have that. But just know, with jazz up the neck, every time that I spend forever getting the ukulele ones together, and then I have to start all over from scratch with baritone because the computer is of no help figuring any of that out. It's like, oh, so you're going to make a B flat minor 7th on ukulele? Well, guess what? Here's what we think it should be on the baritone. And often it'll even put in guitar chords because it's just like, oh, we don't know what you're doing. So I do have to go through. That's why the baritones take much longer to do on this than the other stuff. And so, yeah, so just know that they are coming. I'm just running a little behind on those. Harlem Nocturne, let's go talk about it very quickly. Harlem Nocturne is probably, for those of you who are big jazz fans, this is as standard gets. E, F, G, H. Every jazz person knows this tune. No other people know it. It's just not a tune that people are particularly plugged into. And so when I found it, I'm like, man, that is a cool song. Let me give you just a little bit. It may strike some of you may have a recollection of this. I'm sorry. Okay, and that's the main theme. The middle part is da 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 dum, da 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 dum, da 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 dum, da 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 dum. I will tell you so if you know the song, you're like, oh man, I'm excited about that. If you don't know the song, just know you're treading on dangerous ground here in the sense that if you start where you're like, oh man, I really like Harlem Nocturne, you're officially a jazz person after that, and there's no helping you. You'll start, you'll grow a beard, you'll wear sandals, and you'll start drinking red wine, and all of that. You know how jazz people are. So just be mindful that that's the direction. I did have to make an octave change that just does not fit on ukulele. So when you get to measure 15, it's going down, and then I had to bump it up an octave to finish it out. And so just know that measures 15 and 16 or 15 and 17 will throw it. Basically, measure 15 will initially strike you as a bit of a problem, but there's no way for it to fit on ukulele otherwise. And so I wanted it on ukulele. So your ear will for 1 second be like, what? And then the next note it'll be fine. So there is an octave bump there. I would say this song it's set at 100. You can play it at 60. You really can. Let me play it at 60. I'll just show you what that feels like. So crazy slow, like ridiculously slow. I made a bunch of mistakes, but you can get away with that with this song. So don't feel like you need to rush it. I'd listen to the MP3 a few times. I'd go listen to 2 or 3 versions on the radio on YouTube. And you guys probably are clear on this. When you get to jazz, we write it down on paper after they're done playing it, and it's what they played at that moment. No time in jazz do they use the same set of chords two times in a row. Mostly they're always thinking of new weirdo chords to go with stuff, and so the chords that you have here are the ones that feel pretty natural in the song, but you will find as you listen to other versions of it that they have other chords in there, and if you listen to it the second night after that, they'd have even differenter. They'd have a whole different set of chords to go with it. Melody doesn't change, just the chords that they're messing around with do. It's just part of jazz, part of one of those things. It's what happens when you go to school and you end up thinking, yeah, this makes sense. Next is Misty. I mean, let's pull that one up real quick. You can pull up your version of it. But Misty really is. It turns out I always thought this song was all about Misty, but it's really not. Misty comes up 1 point in the song, measure 6. He says Misty. That's it. But this one is a little easier to play. There's still plenty of crazy jazz chords in there to keep you busy. Those of you guys that have been around a while, you like this stuff. And so I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to warn you about. Oh, I do. Measure 12. You're going to be playing 11, 11, 12, 12. Okay? And so this is when, again, you decide, is my $50 ukulele keeping me in business, or is it maybe time to upgrade to a $250 ukulele, right? When you get to 11, 12, 11, 12, and you're really playing it, you're like, that is a thing I do now. That it's an A flat 7 flat 9, better known as a diminished chord of some sort, and so just know that's sitting there. And I thought, I'm not dropping the octave. I'm not doing it. We can fit it in 12. Initially, I had this in a different key, and it went up to 14 or 15. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pull it down. I'm gonna make it fit on ukulele. I did not have to mess around with any of the octaves, and so I think, again, go listen to the MP3 and a couple of versions on YouTube. I think you're going to like that one. And then finally, the easy one of the 3, easier of them, is My Funny Valentine. So those of you guys who are a little bit newer, you want to start with My Funny Valentine. And I think that I hate the words to this song, but I love the way it plays, and I really love the way it fits on ukulele. Let me give you just a taste. So of all of the songs, even of all the songs we play tonight, this one will probably be the most playable. The chords are nice, but they're not out of control. And I think, you've got a few bar chords in here, and then a few, these weirdo jazz chords where you're putting this like this. That's going to be happening. That's going to happen on all of our jazz stuff. So if you have to pick one to start with My Funny Valentine. And so those are there. I will get the baritone sheets up for you. I'm working on Moonglow right now, and then I will probably move to Nature Boy, and then I'm going to try to get the ones you guys requested, Satin Doll, Sweet Pea, and They Can't Take That Away From Me are the other ones on my list to do. That would give us 19. So I probably want to have one more, so we have around 20 or 21. So if you have another, make sure it's a jazz standard so that I can easily go find at least a lead sheet somewhere. And don't make them too obscure. But I could probably take 1 or 2 more before we wrap up our springtime activities here. And then this summer, I mentioned we're going to be doing. By the way, you're grabbing Beyond the Sea for baritone. This summer we're going to be working off of lead sheets, which is just the melody and the chords, and then you get to decide on the arrangement. what it will do is make it far. Well, it'll give you the knowledge to know that you already know how to arrange stuff, and you don't necessarily need me to be in your life. And that's what it sounds weird, but that's kind of one of my goals, is to get you where you're so good you just don't even need to hang around with me anymore. If we can get you there, then I can start calling up, hey, can you do an arrangement of this? And you're like, Gary, I'm trying to get rid of you, but sure. All right, let's wrap up with Beyond the Sea on baritone. And again, those of you guys that are on ukulele, you're writing down the chords that you know and don't know, and seeing and going and looking them up if you have to. All right, let's give it a try. Let's see, where did I leave off? Oh, you guys have been busy chatting while I've been busy yapping. Linda shows up in the afternoon. It's afternoon in Maui, by the way. So yeah, so she made it in. And you were in the hospital, Warren? What the heck? Oh yeah, in the hospital with no internet. That's cruel. And you talk about cruel and unusual punishment. Oh my God. I hope you're feeling better, Warren. Glad you're back. Let's see. 1 p.m. in Australia. Okay, middle of the afternoon in Maui. Was Harlem Nocturne in a movie? I think it's in a lot of movies, Elizabeth. I'd have to go look, but yeah. It's 10 o'clock in North Carolina. Rita, sounds familiar. Yeah, that Harlem Nocturne. It's probably in a bunch of movies, but I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see. All right, you guys are chatting among yourselves. Caravan. I don't know if I know that one, Christine, but I'm happy to look at it. Yeah, a lot of times, don't worry so much about whether it'll fit on ukulele. Really look at, does it have a good melody, right? Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. That's a good melody, right? It's got a lot of movement in it. Anything with a good melody will work on ukulele, anything. So be thinking about, hey, if I'm in the shower, dum 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 da 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 dum. That's gonna work on ukulele. Okay, and I always use this as my one example. I use it every time. If I say purple rain, you tell me any other word in that song, and you can't, because that's not how that song works. Nobody knows any other words in that song. I mean, it doesn't have a great melody. It's got cool orchestration. It came out at a time in our life when we're like, oh yeah, we need something new. But the song has no melody, and so it doesn't really work on ukulele. So, but think about it. If you can whistle the whole entire tune, it's probably ready for ukulele. Beyond the Sea, last time. Let's do what we can. We'll slow down in the middle to see if I can get it right. 1, 2, 3. What is it? 4? Sorry, guys. 4, 5, 6, 7. This one. Jeez. Oh, we made it. Couple of moments in there I might noodle around with, but for the most part I think that really works. And again, take your time on that center section, and you have a good song there if you ever decide to put it together. So yeah, there we go. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully that this stuff is meaningful and fun to you. This is as hard as the ukulele can get. I don't think there's any way to make it any harder, and so if you're struggling, it makes sense. You see me, I'm fighting it pretty good myself, and honestly, this is as hard as music gets, period. I mean, everything after jazz is contemporary stuff where they just put random notes together that don't make any sense. So, and you can do that. That's what you've been doing. That's what I do every day. So, hope you guys have a wonderful night or a wonderful afternoon or a wonderful morning. Warren, I'm glad you're at a hospital. Linda, thank you for joining us in your busy afternoon watching whales in Hawaii. Tanya, thank you for staying up late. Everybody else, thank you for being here. We got good music. We got 13 songs there. You do yourself a favor, just play all 13 every day, right? Just sit down and play them. Look for opportunities to change them to your style or to adjust the tones to whatever you want them to be. I don't get my feelings hurt if you're like, no, I think you should do this in the arrangement. And so there's that. Weekday people, remember we are only 4 days this week. I'm going to take next Friday off. And if you're not a weekday person, again, thank you for being here. Keep showing up. We've got plenty more. I got the whole, I know what I'm doing for this summer and this fall. I'm pretty sure I got to meet with Debbie here in a week or two to sit down, make sure I can get her on board with my idea. But we're going to keep playing both online, and then we're going to start looking at doing a little bit of in-person stuff as well this fall. So just be keeping your ukulele up. We're going to take you up to being fabulous player. You're already a fabulous player if you're here. It's not an accident. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to shut up. I'll say good night to you, everybody, and then we'll get out of here. Let's see. Carol says, I think Paper Doll. Oh yeah, that's a good song, right? Someday when I'm awfully low. Don't know if I know that song, Elizabeth. Spanish Eyes. Do I know that? That sounds familiar. Oh gosh, you guys, I'm not a jazz guy. Send me a couple of these. Email me a couple of ideas. I'll see if I can figure them out. At least I ought to know what they sound like, right? Kat, you're welcome. Good to see you. Critter. Oh, in the mood, yeah. All right, that's a good idea. Thanks, Carrie. Good to see you. Evelyn, thanks for being here. We're just all getting better, I hope, right? Deb, that was a fun evening. Good to see you, Deb. Pauline, see you in the morning, Pauline. Fran, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, it's good music we're doing, guys. Mame, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Janice, I love having you here, Janice. Say hi to Mary for us. Linda, good time, good songs, you bet. Yeah, hard stuff, right? Elizabeth, beautiful music, very rewarding when you finally get it, right? And you don't need to get all 13. Find one of these pieces of music that you love and just play it a million times. Diane, time for wine. Diane, it was time for wine the minute you logged in and saw my face. You're like, oh gosh, I need the whiskey. Sandy, good to see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Vic, see you in the morning. Barbara, good night, Barbara. Take care. Oh, Just the Way You Look Tonight. Isn't that a... Just the Way You Look... Just the way... I think I know that song. Just the Way You Look Tonight. Just the way... That one's from a movie, I think, right? All right, I don't know. My brain's dead. I will see you guys, some of you tomorrow. I'll see the rest of you next Monday. Ending the recording.